Here's everything you need to know about the 2024 NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament, which will have a 64-team field and a single elimination bracket. The tournament bracket will be revealed during a selection show on Sunday, December 1st. Matches begin with the first and second rounds December 5th to 7th. 32 teams receive automatic qualification, with the remaining 32 teams selected as at-larges by the Division I Women's Volleyball Committee.
And there is Deja McClendon, number 18 for Penn State, pushing it wide. Point Huskies. It's a rarity when you get an opportunity to play for a title at home, but the teams in the history of this tournament that have been extremely successful. Katie Slay at 6'6", the tallest on the floor. Point, including USC beating UCLA in Los Angeles in the 1981 final. Micah Hancock, the two-time Big Ten Setter of the Year out of Edmond, Oklahoma, injured in last year's national semifinal, and that proved lethal to Penn State's title chances as they got knocked out. A touch and a point for UW.
So far, we're seeing lots of assertive swings hitting the perimeter of the court. Krista Van Zandt coming up with a couple, and then Kyla Munoz for Washington. Same thing from Deja McClendon. I like how both teams are coming out to go get it and not wait for the opponent to make errors.
Jenny Nigueras, the senior from Puerto Rico, with the serve. Hancock setting up Slay. It's blocked. Nigueras looking for Van Sant, gets it down for the kill, and look at the emotion early on from the Huskies.
That's another quality swing, and you see it doesn't go right toward the right back or the middle back player. She splits to hit if you're a left side attacker.
Ariel Scott, the two-time All-American for Penn State, gets the kill. 30-30 with 38 kills to beat USC.
And she has absolutely nothing left, as all of her teammates did in that monster match with USC. She broke down right afterwards, and luckily they've had 5 days to regroup. Both these teams survived the ultimate test. Penn State, on the other side, was down 9-6 in the 5th set to a very solid Stanford team and came back to win. Confusion on the Washington side. You don't see that very often. They've played with a very consistent lineup all through the season. They should know each other well enough by now not to have that ball fall.
These two teams did not meet during the regular season, which saw Penn State go 32-2 and Washington go 30-2. And the second net violation of this first set, point UW.
Sometimes that happens when you're trying so hard to block the ball that you end up putting yourself a little too close to the net, and you end up touching it, and that's happened for both teams.
Melanie Ray serving the middle at 6-4. And another point for Washington. Huskies have come out serving tough.
Courtney quite a bit, and she puts this ball over. Though Micah Hancock made a nice touch on that, they could have kept that ball alive. That's a better pass from Courtney.
Back set to Scott, goes over the top.
And that's why they need that pass. She is a big, here comes the pass right on the money to Micah Hancock. There are two blockers there, but Ariel Scott makes them look like they're not even there, and that's because one of them, Cassie Strickland's only 5'8". That's a great matchup for Penn State at the net.
Lacey Fuller, the junior from San Diego, on to serve. Nigueras to Strickland. Got a touch and a point for Washington. And we should mention early on in this one, Karch, that the Huskies run a 6-2. So a little bit different offensively with Nigueras and Beals as their setters.
And Beals enters the game now. So does Parker, or so does Munoz, I'm sorry. And so what they do is they always have 3 hitters at the net.
Penn State goes with the traditional 5-1, although we're seeing more and more of the 6-2 with the recent changes in the substitution patterns in college volleyball. And there's Deja McClendon, the senior from Louisville.
And it was actually a year or two ago that Coach Rose wanted to run a two-setter offense himself, but a couple of injuries and academic ineligibility, and he stuck with the Micah Hancock one-setter offense. Been very effective for them.
Going to the middle, Liana Sebeldin, the sophomore out of Folsom, California.
Sebeldin's really been coming into her own in the middle. You can see that isolation play, trying to get one quick hitter in the middle of the court against one middle blocker in that same zone.
Strong serve from Strickland. Penn State goes back to McClendon.
Good read by McClendon.
She'll get it back. Strickland there defensively. Beals bumps it over to Van Sant. Diving chicken winger. Saves it for Fuller. Van Sant tries the tip. No. Back out to Van Sant. Got it.
You know, you can go a long way. That's her fourth kill with just two. Hit the seam one way. This time she goes the deep corner, and it's rare that people plant themselves there on defense. She's doing a really strong job of mixing those shots up and hitting it flat and deep. Nothing down, so it's harder to stuff block those.
Service error from Washington. The different colored jersey, they can do everything except attack. And they're primarily defenders and passers, and there's the ace for Penn State.
And that's a few times now that Penn State has targeted Van Sant to try to make her carry more of the load, wear her down, make her pass the ball before she attacks the ball. Let's see if Mia Grant goes at her again. She doesn't get the ball to Van Sant, so she only has to worry about hitting.
Courtney saves it. Scott couldn't get a whole lot on that one. Back out to Van Sant, off the block. And now it's Deja McClendon using the fingertips. Point Penn State. That's going to be a terrific matchup to see how often Penn State can get Katie Slay over there on Van Sant.
Absolutely. I like this assertive swing also by McClendon. Both the left side studs for these two teams coming out very assertive. And McClendon with a lot of good body language, too. Looking her teammates in the eye, giving them a fist pump, getting them ready to go.
Possibility, Karch, tonight that we will see a lot of service errors because these two teams are going to take a lot of risks to try and get their opponents out of system.
Or try too hard to get the ball to a certain player,
yes,
like they were trying on Van Sant. This is an interesting rotation because you only have Katie Slay on one side of the court and Deja McClendon on the other. So if they don't get a pass at all, it's tough to score, but when you do have a pass, wow, Micah option. That's what's nice about having a left-handed setter. She can just stand there, jump right-handed. She'd have to do it softly, and she wouldn't be able to swing on that.
Much more attack-minded as well in this NCAA tournament. The back set this time, Scott cross-court.
And the other thing that McLaughlin emphasizes all the time is hit in, and that's why both these teams, they are hitting in very low errors, and they both come out hot in this match. Both of them high or both above 350. Anything above 300 is a very effective offensive number.
And the stars are shining. McClendon and Scott and Van Sant, and now Micah Hancock, a couple of aces. They have taken 8 of the last 9.
Washington does not. Watch this ball curve to our right. They don't have a left-handed player on their team. They don't get to practice against this in their gym, and it's given them a lot of trouble. That pass also a great blocking opportunity for Penn State.
Tough serving from Micah Hancock, who last year in the tournament set the record with 22 aces. Had been cold behind the service line in this postseason. A 9-1 Nittany Lion run as Hancock launches the ace. College football bowl season, national semifinals here in Seattle. 8-1 run for Penn State.
And another poor pass from Washington. Another scoring opportunity for Penn State. Those bad passes allow a good blocker, but not so mobile, Katie Slay, at 6'6", the time to get in front of the hitter, intimidating and getting an out-of-bounds attack.
A service show right now being put on by Micah Hancock. And now a chance finally for Van Sant, but the block slows it down. Out to Deja McClendon. Penn State is reaching a whole nother level right now.
After McClendon rocks this ball, look at how she comes down and gives her teammates a look in the eye, gives the dig by the serve, by the set. She is leading.
Back set for Kylan Munoz, and that will slow things down for the moment.